to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the War Room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And I am back once again into Sunday afternoon, and I am tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And joining me today is Mr. Henry. We don't have a cool podcast nickname for you. We've got the Gunslinger, we've got Magnum, we've got Bathroom Paul.
Oh yeah, he's got his picture.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
But we don't have a cool nickname for you.
Oh, Henry's cool.
Henry's cool?
Yeah, it speaks for
is
itself.
It just Henry or Henry's cool?
No, it speaks for itself.
Henry's
Just Henry.
Cool. Henry's cool is joining us today. How have you been, sir?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You know, just living life.
Living life. You've been doing all things Second Amendment. I know you've got a, we start that off right. What have you been doing with the Second Amendment? What guns have you bought?
Haven't
few. Since you've been on last.
Since I've been on last.
Since you've been on last.
So yeah, I've purchased a couple.
27 to be exact.
No. 23. No, it's everything out there. I don't know. I just have too many to shoot. Like you can never have enough.
What a problem to have.
You can never have enough, but it's like, you're stuck. It's like, okay, what am I carrying today? So I should just chart it out. Like,
well,
have a watch bill or something.
Magnum, what he does is he actually changes up like every third week or something. I think he's got him in his safe with like dates or something. Grab this one for the first 2 weeks, this one for the next 2 weeks.
He's got a spreadsheet that emails him on his phone so he can know which gun he's carrying.
Exactly, which isn't a bad thing. I tend to just kind of carry the same gun. Unless, depending on what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
But, typically I don't change my carry guns. And I know there's a lot of people that do, but, God, I find one that I like, and I just kind of stick with it.
Yeah. Which one was that?
The VP9. Hey, so right there, it's unloaded, but check it out. On the table right there.
Oh, this little guy?
That little, so that's my in-process holster. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
How cute is that?
That is, and I like how it's curved to where it's like contours your body a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I can see that.
It's a work in progress because I suck at it.
Hey, I mean you gotta start somewhere, right? You gotta practice somehow.
So what's your current carry?
Right now, I've been pretty much keeping it between two.
Okay.
And that's the Shadow Systems, and then that 365X.
So that Shadow Systems, that's that C9. Is that the one you're carrying?
No, it's the XR 920.
XR 920.
Yeah,
that's the new one that you bought. Is that their newest to the line?
Yeah, so it's kind of like the 19X where it's got like the shorter slide, but with the full grip.
Gotcha.
So it's the same thing. So you got like your standard 17 round magazines versus 15. And
do you like it?
I love it. I love
it.
You
really like those Shadow Systems.
I do. And it's funny because I can't stand Glock.
Yeah,
but the Shadow Systems, I don't know. I just like it.
So I don't hate the Shadow Systems.
Yeah.
I think they're way overpriced for what they are.
Well,
I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just saying in my mind, they're way overpriced for what they are.
Well, if you ask me, I think all of them are overpriced.
Well, yeah, that too.
But I mean, where we're at now.
If you want cheap, get a Taurus.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like, well, before when Shadow Systems was like part of the whole Gucci Glock crew.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they were way more expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, didn't.
But it comes standard with optics cut out, and it's for multiple optics, not just one.
Yeah, but see, they shouldn't be charging.
It's got the fluted barrel.
They shouldn't be. I could see the fluted barrel. They shouldn't charge. I think they should all come standard, cut optic ready.
Whoa, right.
Because that's just ridiculous.
But you think
it's not.
If you think about it, people go out and they buy like a $600-700 firearm, and then they go get it milled out for like a RMS or something.
Stupid. They need to come that way. That should be factory standard. Every gun has a trigger,
right?
And a trigger guard. They should all come cut for an optic.
Yeah, or at least have that option.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, real quick, just in case you guys hear stuff in the background. So it's been like really, really hot down here where we are here in southern Idaho. And the War Room, where we are podcasting from, does not have air conditioning. And so I came out here early this morning and I opened the windows and it's still hot in here. And I'm not closing the windows. So you might hear chickens, you might hear geese, and you might hear kids playing outside. And if you hear that, I'm so sorry. I'm not shutting the damn windows.
And a dog barking.
and I'm okay with that, man. It's life. But I guarantee you, those sounds that you hear, they will be in stereo surround. Hi-fi, Wi-Fi, Dolby Digital. Is that a thing?
It sounds right.
It sounds right. So, but you just kind of, I know you've done it before in the past, but you've been kind of enjoying building rifles too, haven't you?
Yeah. So I kind of modified, not rifles. They're AR pistols.
Yeah. It's all, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, I've just been toying around with that a little bit. It's been fun. I'm getting faster.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Getting faster at putting them together?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Kind of knowing where everything goes, wherever the spring or pin goes, I kind of have a good idea now.
Well, I got one that I need you to help me put together if I could find my bag of parts. I don't
Yeah, you kind of need those.
I had a big Ziploc bag of parts and I can't figure out where I put it. I spent 45 minutes looking for that this morning. I cannot find it. I have no idea where it is. So
it's not in the safe?
Nope. It's not. And you rifled around in my safe yesterday, so you knew.
Well, I didn't go through it. I just, handpicked a couple of items.
Did you see all those rifles in there you didn't know I had?
Yeah, I didn't know. And you're like anti-rifle too. It's like,
those are deer hunting rifles.
They're all somebody else's.
I have a deer hunting rifles and half an AR in there. Half of an AR.
Which half?
The upper.
Okay. Complete?
Well, yeah, I took it off that one that we took apart.
Oh, okay. So you just need the lower put together.
I just need the lower put together.
Oh, that's easy.
When I find the parts.
Yeah. I think I might.
You gave me the bag of parts, and I just have to find the stupid things.
No, okay.
I'll dig them out somewhere. They're I set them like for safekeeping somewhere, and I just don't remember where.
Well, I don't know how you lost it. I mean, this room is so organized.
Hey, I cleaned it since yesterday. So what happens is I my what I consider my office table, where I do all my work when I'm not instructing, my work on the computer, my social media stuff. I do it on the kitchen table. And eventually whatever I need for that ends up leaving this room and going to the kitchen table.
So it's all sitting in the kitchen table.
And occasionally about every 2 months, my wife's like, you need to clean this shit up. So I end up dragging it all back out here in a big box.
And just like stuff it in the corner?
Oh, no, I stack it all over the table. You saw that. You saw that yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just dump it all out.
Yeah,
We're going out of town. It's time to put crap in the safe now.
Yeah. And then like yesterday, you had like all these guns out all over the table.
Oh, my gosh.
So
it's
a good class, though.
Yeah, Henry comes and helps me out with classes when he can. Him and James, or Magnum, or whatever you want to call him that day.
Magnum PU.
Magnum PU, that's right. Anyhow, you guys helped me with the class. It was a little warm yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a little
fitting
warm.
out a little bit.
It was a good class, though. They were pretty good shooters, most of them.
I had to empty out my ear cups from my ear pro every once in a while, just kind of pour out.
Yeah, I heard you saying in the background, you're like, man, this is like so sweaty. I'm like, that's why I wear the plugs and because it used to just like suction cup and just like felt like it was ripping out your eardrum.
Oh man, well mine don't fit that tight. Mine are comfortable.
Oh, mine.
Yeah,
I got a fat head.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
An abnormally fat head. So, did anything stick out to you in class yesterday? You saw those guys out there shooting. I mean, is there something that stuck out to you as far as like interesting firearm or I mean, tell me. I see stuff all the time. So I was just wondering what I won't say an outsider, but what someone else helping with the class saw that I didn't.
Well, it's always fun to see what people are shooting. As soon as everybody goes out and they like lay all their firearms out on the table, and I know you do it too, and I mean, we just walk up and down. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, what? Ooh, how long have you had that?
Sometimes you go, ooh, that's not. Ooh.
It's like, okay,
and then you turn and go, yeah, it's nice too. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, but they had some nice ones out there. I like that big old Beretta. I mean, that was nostalgic.
I didn't make it down to that end of the table.
Yeah.
Was it at the far end of the table?
Yeah, he was on the very end on my side.
Yeah, I didn't make it down. I didn't make it down that far yesterday. Was he shooting it pretty well? Was it pretty functional?
Yeah, he was pretty comfortable with it. I mean, he's fired it before.
He's had it for a few years.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine. Yeah. He did have he kind of struggled at the beginning, because he was at that first fire, or that first round is like double action.
Double action, yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes in single. So he was like prepping for that soft trigger, and then he's like that, and I'm like, okay, it's long and hard.
It's like a piston.
Yep. And then once it fires, everything else after that's easier.
Down on my end, we had a lot of
that wheel gun was cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of women shooting like some 22s, right?
Yeah.
And one of them was having. I mean, so I 22s. I tell you what, first of all, let's start off by saying there was a pile of TX 22s in class yesterday.
Yeah.
There was like 4 or 5 of them, including mine. It was freaking awesome. I love.
Yeah, they're cool.
I love that stupid gun. But someone brought like an old, like, I don't even know, was it a Ruger or like a Browning Buckmark or something on my end? The ones that like the Target 22s, all like the Field 22s. They got that long pencil barrel and yeah. So
kind of look like an old Luger or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So they brought those, and those are pretty. They could, they're not bad guns, right? She couldn't even get the first round to feed. So I just looked at her. I was like, dude, what else you got?
What do you got?
So she pulls out a big Smith & Wesson. I don't know if it was a straight up 38 special or if it was actual a 357. She was shooting 38s out of it. But she was shooting it, and she did what a lot of people do, and she would break it over to single action, right? She'd cock that hammer back. Single action, and I'm like, what? Let's do double action. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, let me show you how to do double action. And usually people will do double action, and then after a little while, when I'm not paying attention, they'll go back to single action.
Yeah, because it's easier.
It's easier to shoot, right?
Yeah.
She picked it up and just cranked it double action the rest of the day. And once you learn that trigger, and that was a Smith & Wesson, so they have nice triggers.
Yeah.
Once she got it down, she was accurate as crap with that gun.
Oh,
I was really impressed. Now, there wasn't a snub nose or anything like that. I don't know what it had, like a 4-inch barrel or something.
It looked like it.
But those, I tell you, a good revolver, 4-inch barrel, they're nice to shoot. They're fun to shoot.
Well, yeah. If you have that smooth double action, I mean, some of them are kind of rough. And
yeah, so it's the Smiths have a real nice trigger. Some of the Rugers have a nice trigger.
Yeah.
It's when you start, I'm trying to think of some other revolver manufacturers. Some of the Tauruses aren't great.
Right.
There's another one. God, who makes it? I am not a revolver guy, so I forget the name. So I forget the name of it. But anyhow, they were shooting them well. Everyone shot real well in the class, and for as hot as it was hot out there. It was
really hot.
Everyone was super good natured out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Like everyone was good natured and in a good mood, and that's kind of what I like about these shooting classes. Very rarely do people complain, and if they do complain, they've been a problem the entire class anyway.
Yeah, and then sometimes you luck out and they don't come back for the shoot portion. They come back at like a later date or something.
And I've actually had people, and I think it was because I do the classroom portion first, then I do the shooting portion second. And I've actually had people leave for lunch because we don't shoot till after lunch and like not come back. And which is okay. I haven't taken any of their money, and so I don't really care at that point, right? You don't come back, you don't come back. It is what it is, because I can have 500 people in there for the classroom portion, and I'm not working any harder. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just presenting, right? It's the shooting portion. That's where the work happens.
So, from the business aspect of it, you should start charging for the class. Like start charging, take like Venmo or some kind of cash app or something like that, and have people pay with their card or something. That way, if you have something like that happen, like half your class doesn't show up, you don't get paid for that.
I know, but
you already took up like half your day.
So there's
in the classroom.
Yeah. So there's a reason. First of all, if someone doesn't come back for the shooting portion, it's typically because they maybe, and I don't try to do this, but we talk about it in the classroom portion. I'm like, well, if you can't do this and this and this, if you aren't ready to use your gun to take a life, because that's what you're going to do if you have to defend yourself, right?
Right.
And you couldn't live with yourself by doing that, maybe you shouldn't carry a gun. I think some of them get a little nervous and they're like, this is too much for me, right? I actually have had some said, hey, I'll just pay you for half the class, but I'm done. I'm not going to complete this. Yeah. And that's cool. But as far as a business stand, and I've thought about that because I usually have 2 to anywhere, depending on the year, let's say, and depending on what the weather's supposed to be, I'll have anywhere from 2 to 4 people that don't show up to class at all. They sign up, but they don't show up.
Right.
And you and everyone else, my dad, my wife, you need to charge them before. You need to charge a certain percent. You need to do something. I don't like to do that. First of all, it's extra
Todd,
work.
This is your business now.
I know, but let me back off.
Okay.
Here. Just hear me out.
All right.
Okay. So if anyone, and I've had to do this, I think I've had to do this one time, but if anyone comes in and they are causing me problems, right, in class, like they're really just being an idiot, they're being belligerent, they're being extra unsafe, I want to be able to say, you're done, go. And not have taken their money already. That's the way I look at it, because they're not, I know, but they're not going to argue with me, right? You got to think of it. I got a class. Mm-hmm. It's got a bunch of people with firearms in it. I have a hothead. I don't need a bunch of fighting going on.
Right.
I don't need them to say, well, I'm not leaving. I freaking paid you. I just say, just go. Take your stuff and go. Just take your stuff and leave. And that's kind of how I've done it.
Well, you've had you can implement some kind of refund policy. I mean, that way, well, those folks, those 4 folks that don't show up,
right,
maybe they'll be more inclined to come back and actually finish the class, right, if they've already paid for it.
Right.
And the big thing about it is education, right?
And what you say makes sense. I get it. I just Am I too nice of a guy? Am I too trusting, Henry? I mean, I'm serious here, and this is going to be a great podcast because we're getting to the root of this. Like, am I too trusting? Because I would do anything. You've seen me in class. I will do anything for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
In class, I want them to have a good experience. I want them, you name it. You want to come back and shoot at a different time because other people make you nervous, because I will do that. I have no problem. I will stay late.
So you shouldn't feel guilty taking their money.
I know. You
should feel no guilt. This is your business. This is your sole business now, right? And you're losing money, whether it be $300-400 a class. You're still losing that $300 or $400.
So let me tell you this though too. Okay, this is another way to look at it. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you what has gone.
I don't care if we're arguing.
Well, because I've thought about this before, and I understand exactly what you're saying, and I feel the same way because, damn it, I need to make more money. I honestly need to make more money. So I had a deal set up. I had it all set up online, on everything, right? Because everything's online anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So I've always been, prided myself on the fact that people, instead of just going and signing up online, which some people want, you can call me, you can talk to me. You can text message me. A lot of people love to do the text thing, right? Uh-huh. And I will speak with you. I'll answer your questions. You're not just going to get a computer page, right? And I got to a point where I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try to do this. I am going to get with this. I think it was the beginning of last year. Yeah. I am going to get with the times. I'm going to have them register online. They can still call. They can still talk to me. I will text them, because I always text them all the info, the address, directions, all that. What I'll do is, when they want to sign up, I'll talk to them on the phone. I will text them the link that they need to go to register and pay. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I started doing. Guess what?
What?
Class numbers cut in half. I'm not kidding. I would talk to people, and then I would talk to people. They would make it sound like they were going to sign up. Okay, yeah, no problem. Send me that. And they wouldn't sign up.
That's because they had to take that extra step. If they're talking to you face to face, yes, you should have it on your phone. If you're talking to you face to face, hey, I need you to, even if you go, okay, to reserve the class, you have to pay $45.
Right.
That way you're at least getting something out of it if they don't show up.
Right.
So
and then, I need to ask them for their card number over the phone?
No.
I mean, how would I do that? So I understand the extra step thing. I guess I get that. How would I do that? And this is people are probably going to listen to this podcast and they're going to roll their eyes and they're going to say, how have you made this for 8 or 9 years? How have you done this? Because you're dumb. I didn't go to school for business. This is legitimately, I'm learning as I go.
Well, yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff I'm not good at.
Well, I look at it this way. I mean, you're a good dude, right? You're honest, you're fair, you're accommodating. And even though you get those 3 or 4 people that don't show up for class, I mean, do you think because you're that type of person, do you think that they're going to be all butthurt and like pissed off at you because you took $45? No, they're not.
I guess they're making the choice not to be here. So.
Exactly. And then you're not charging them full price. You're charging them a reservation fee. That way you're still getting paid, right? And if they show up to class, well, they come with the difference.
Right. So how would I mean, this might be a conversation forever. How do I do that when they call? What do I do? What system is there in place? How would I do that? How do I take their money from them on the phone so there's not an extra step?
Okay, so you do, because this is your business, right? You're gonna take that extra step away from them. You're gonna use your website or whatever that you set up. You're gonna schedule their class for them and then shoot them an email. So you'll get their email address, you'll get their payment information, or you can even set it up with your bank. Like, I don't know who you bank with, but I use Zelle to pay bills. I use Zelle to pay people. There are a ton of different applications on the phone, like Cash App and all that good stuff, that Venmo, that people use all the time. So if you have a Venmo account, hey, you need Venmo me the $45 reservation fee. I will lock you in on your date for your reservation.
As soon as I see that, I'll lock you in.
Yep. As soon as you see that hit your PayPal or whatever you want to call it, you put their information in, but they need to give you like an email address and your name and all that good stuff. That way you can keep track of it.
And that's kind of what I would do. Go back, register. I see this. Once this hits my phone, because it will hit my phone right away.
Yeah.
I will send you the info. That's what I did. And it wasn't necessarily the younger crowd, because that's how they live.
Well, yeah.
It's the older crowd.
Yeah. So you take that, you take that away from them. They don't have to go online to register. You do that for them as soon as you see the money and say, hey, mark this date on your calendar. This is your date.
But here, I'm really not fighting. I'm trying to grasp it. Like, how do I get the older generation, right? Because a lot of them, they don't do Venmo, they don't do Cash App, they don't do any of that.
Yeah, but they have somebody that they know that does.
But it's still a step that they're having to go out and take. And so part of my deal is my class. I cater to anyone, right?
Right.
But you've been in my classes. What are most of the students, about maybe 25 to 30% of the students are someone who they're not going to go fit in at that super tactical guy down the road. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
And, they're 80 years old, and I'm not knocking anyone's age, but they're 80 years old and, stuff like that. That's still a step for them. And I just don't know how to, I don't want to lose that crowd because that's half my business.
But I don't feel like you would. I really don't.
When I started doing it a year ago, though, I mean, I saw a definite drop in signups, and then when I just did away with it,
well, usually
I don't know.
Anytime you do something new, anytime you do something new or change something because it's not what you're used to,
right?
It's going to feel different. It's going to feel like you said, you felt like there were less people.
I felt like I was losing control. Did that make sense? Like, I didn't know they had to go do something. And maybe it's me just letting go and letting like an app do part of it. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah,
at all?
I hate this saying, but everybody's doing it. Everybody does it, and they're successful.
Everybody poops.
And exactly. And I mean, you look at these big businesses; they don't do it that way.
I know.
You pay for it. You pay for it.
I'm old school.
And they can, and they still smile, and they still greet people like they're people, and they're nice to people and everything, and they still. I mean, it's the same thing. It's business.
I know it's business.
It's a business. It's your business.
Now I got to rethink this.
Yeah.
This weekend.
And I mean, I can look into some stuff too. And I'll play around with it with you.
If you have any ideas, let me know. So, and I know I need to do something.
Yeah. And really in the long run, it'll make everything easier for your clients.
It'll probably smooth itself out in the long run too.
Yep.
That this is the way he does it. So this is what we need to do.
It's just going to take a little bit of a shift. That's it.
Oh God, I'll talk to management. Dang it! I'm gonna have to.
Is that where you go to the bathroom? You sit on the toilet with your phone. That's management.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take myself to lunch and talk about this. We're gonna have to have
a business meeting. You got to write it off.
A business meeting. I think I need steak and lobster.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Maybe I'll go to Jackpot or something.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, but anyhow, I don't know. It's just those things as an instructor, as a business owner, right?
Yeah.
I'm just not. I don't. That stuff passes me by.
Yeah. What about
And
the wife?
The wife.
Does she have, the know-how, or is she technologically
Yeah,
inclined?
she probably does. She kind of just lets me do this myself until it looks to her like maybe I'm doing something really wrong or someone's like screwing me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then she'll like, ugh.
Well, right now, losing out on $400 a class, you're screwing yourself.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can at least get half that.
It's a fine line though. It's like I want to be that guy, but I need to be compensated, right?
Right.
For time, for energy, because you're right, because if, for example, it's a bigger class and maybe I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm going to cap it off at 20 people. It's been a long time since I've had a massive class, but let's say I'm going to cap it off at like 20 people, and then all of a sudden I quit taking reservations for the class, right? And then
Half of them don't show up. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 people don't show up. And I'm like, I mean, because I think maybe you've been in a text message a time or two where I'm like at class and I'm like, well, I don't need your help today.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that.
because part of the class never showed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to look into that, see if I can straighten my life out a little bit.
Well, I think it's nice that it's personal to you.
Yeah.
And you're a personable person.
I am, and I'm hard to let go.
Yeah. But this is your business now.
Yeah.
So
I need it for fuel costs.
yeah, you got to exactly. And yeah, I mean, you got to click that on every once in a while, so
Yeah.
especially now.
So we'll see what happens. I'll look into that. It's something to look at. We're, I'm still pretty busy, but as we move into like the fall here, it sounds crazy to say that. We're literally moving into fall within the next couple months.
So where do you have to be in the country to go from calling it fall to autumn? I mean,
I don't know. I've always called it fall.
I've always called it fall as well, but I don't know. Like I've heard people say autumn, and I'm like, is that like in between fall and winter?
Some colonial. Is there like a colonial state with the fancier language and stuff where they write in like calligraphy?
I mean, they talk way gooder than me. So.
Way gooder.
Yeah.
Mo from Boston might know.
Yeah.
She'll know who she is when she listens to this podcast. But
I don't know Mo from Boston.
you don't. You need to get on the face. She'll know you now. She listens to the.
Yeah.
She listens to the podcast.
Well, this is only like my second one.
Well, you need to get out here and do more.
I need to get out here and shoot more. That way we can.
That too. You've been trying to like come out and shoot, but like I've had classes.
Yeah.
And
they're blowing me off. I'm like, whatever.
I
dude.
know. Well, God. And then after
No,
the
I get it.
classes, it's so freaking hot, dude.
I told you. I mean, you got one of these, ladies classes. I mean, it's 2022. I can identify with whoever I want.
Hey, I actually have a class coming up Saturday. It's 5. I think there's 5 women. It's a women's class. You free Saturday? You want
mini
help?
skirt.
You don't have to. You're
Okay.
just going to be helping.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm not okay. I'm not going to dress the part.
Yeah, you don't have to. Mate, whatever.
Just kidding.
You do you, man. I don't judge.
2022.
This is the judgment-free zone over here.
No, it'd be fun. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk.
A lot
We'll
of fun.
talk after the podcast and
Heck yeah.
kind of dial. It'll be early. It'll be like 8:00 in the morning. So
Oh, that's even better.
yeah, way better.
Yeah,
we
nice
won't be
and cool.
getting hot till like 11 or 12, and they're only going to be here probably till about 11.
Okay.
So that'll be a good class. I'll holler at you. We'll talk about that. But
Yeah.
so there's a interesting thing. So we have that big shooting in Indiana, right? That big shooting at the Indiana Mall, and we had that guy that he was concealed carry. He was actually using the constitutional carry bill that was put into place like 17 or 18 days prior. And this kid, 22-year-old Eli, I can't pronounce his actual full first name, but we'll call him Eli, was carrying a firearm in the mall. And at this moment, a gentleman had gone into the bathroom, came out with the bathroom with an AR-15, and started shooting people. And Eli was there. He saw what was happening. This hero, he pushed his girlfriend to the side, told her to take cover. He drew his firearm, which was a Glock, I believe is what they've come down to. I don't know if it was a G19 or what, but it was a 9mm Glock. Took a rest against one of those mall trash cans, and he took shots. And I'm going to look up the stats right here so I don't look like an idiot because I'm not going to remember them all. Man, I got a lot of stuff on my phone since I got them stats. This is how the podcast goes, right? I mean, it goes so smoothly. Where is it? I don't know. 10 shots. He's fired 10 shots. 8 shots hit the target, so hit the bad guy, hit the shooter. He did this all in 15 seconds at 42 yards.
Wow.
That's pretty quick. So at 5:56:48 p.m., the mass shooter left the bathroom and opened fire. At 5:57:03 p.m., the suspect had been neutralized by the concealed carry holder. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
At that yardage. And so what I did during the week is I have my women's group show up, and I thought I'd give them a little taste at what it would be like to shoot at distance, right? They've been shooting up close. We do a lot of that up close stuff, working on their fundamentals. And I took them back to half that. So I took them back to about 25 yards and put up, humanoid, whatever type silhouette target at the very end. And I even timed them, but we didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the time. I wanted to, what I did is I wanted to put a little pressure on them.
Right.
Right. And they didn't care about the timer. They just told me they're going to ignore the timer. But anyhow, they took, and not from a draw, just from, low ready, they took 10 shots. And they worked through it the first time through, and a lot of them missed, and they pulled them wide. And then they went back through the second round, and they're like, man, we can do this, but this is hard.
Yeah.
And the key is you have to be dialed in on your fundamentals. So we went through all that, and I watched that. Yesterday during class, you were here. We were talking about it, you, me, and Magnum. And then this morning, I knew you were coming back for the podcast, and I texted you and said, I figured out how to get us out to 50 yards, dude. So at 50 yards, we did this, right?
Yeah.
And so it made a few things happen that I didn't think were going to happen necessarily. So we shot it a couple times. I shot it with my VP9 with the red dot. Okay. Now, we didn't come from the draw. We didn't time it. Okay. But we just freehanded it. We didn't take a rest like Eli did during the event. We just stood there. And I shot with the red dot, and I pulled a lot of freaking shots. And I would have swore to you that I was not going to pull shots. And I would have loved to have told you it was because, well, this red dot is only dialed in for such and such, so I'm going to be shooting low. But I was all over the place. I couldn't just say it was because of the red dot, right? I don't know what it was. The red dot was moving, but it wasn't because it was dialed in for a certain distance, and then I exceeded that. So I did that, did okay. You did it. You did okay, right? You did better than me.
Not that second time, not with the open sights.
But then we decided, hey, I have the same gun, and so I stole the slide off the other one just with the iron sights, and I just used the iron sights, which we both thought this is going to be tough, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be tough. It was easy. It was a lot easier.
Well, for you.
It was a lot easier for me, I thought, with iron sights than it was the red dot. And I'm not knocking a red dot, obviously.
Yeah.
I like the red dots, but at a distance, I think give me iron sights.
Yeah.
I was able to take shots almost in rhythm. I mean, it was a lot faster pace for me. And I got almost all of them where I needed to get them.
Well, this guy at the mall, did he have a dot, or was he?
Nobody knows. I haven't heard. I have no idea. But I will say that sight, the front sight, it covers up the target.
Yeah.
But I was way more accurate with iron sights than I was that dot. And I can't write it off to the fact that the dot's dialed in and, I was dropping shots, that kind of thing, or whatever the fancy words are.
Well, I think for me, whenever I had that silhouette boxed in with the iron sights.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of filled it in. I could hold it a little bit easier.
You could align it with the target better.
Right. And really, I think that subconsciously or whatever, with that dot out there, because it was moving so much, I feel like I might have been overcompensating for where that dot placement was.
Could have been. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Like we were trying way too hard.
Exactly. Instead of just relaxing and,
I just thought it felt, I was surprised that I did better with the iron sights. Not that I'm going to take the red dot off my carry gun, because 9 times out of, I'm not saying it'll never happen, but I'm probably not going to I'm not going to shoot at someone at 40 something yards.
No.
Typically, right? Typically. In my mind, I'm going to find cover. I'm with my family.
That's why you have the rifles.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I have my 270. But you did it too, though. We had kind of full size type guns, and then you did it with your SIG P365X with the red dot. And how was that?
What I missed, like completely, like 3 or 4 of the rounds.
She moved a bit, didn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
but I actually did better with the rounds that did hit the silhouette,
right,
with that thing than I did with my full size.
So, and I'm just taking this sample from you and me, right?
Yeah.
I'm just taking this sample from you and me, and so I'm not saying this is it, like this is the way it's going to work. This is the answer. But I don't mind a little gun. It's not my favorite. I don't mind a little gun, carry a little gun, but even with a red dot, I don't know that these little guns are made for, obviously they're not made for distance, right?
Right.
And if you're thinking you're going to have to shoot longer distances, you might be better off with a little larger gun,
Yeah.
a little longer barrel, little bigger frame, possibly, right? I mean, that's just me. I'm taking the proof of what we saw, what we just did an hour ago out here, but I was really surprised that my iron sights were much better.
Yeah, but can you, like the guy in the shooting, how often does he train? Does he train for that distance?
So here's the thing.
And
so here's the thing too. We don't know. I mean, and I haven't just scoured the interwebs by any means. I've got a life, right?
Right.
And I've read some articles and seen some stuff. Has anyone talked to this guy? I'm sure somebody has. Has he come out public and has they written up an article about him where they've interviewed him? I don't know that they have.
Right.
And I did hear one person say, or I read something that he did say that his grandpa taught him how to shoot. So that could mean all kinds of stuff, right? Maybe his grandpa's a professional shooter for all I know.
Marksman.
I have no idea. But here's the thing. We were standing there. We didn't even use a timer. We weren't under stress. There wasn't people running between us and the bad guy. There wasn't people screaming and crying, right? We didn't have an adrenaline dump. Our heart rate wasn't through the roof. We were just joking around with each other, in a pretty relaxed situation. Yeah. This kid was under pressure, right? This kid, 22 guy. This guy was under pressure. There was a lot going on. He did good. He did really good. You got to perform the fundamentals correctly. And how much of that was skill and how much of that was luck? I'm not downplaying the whole thing because you do have to have a certain level of skill to do what he did, right? There's just a lot of pressure too going on. So I just don't know. I need to know exactly which Glock he was shooting. Was it a 19? Was it a 43? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of factors there. And maybe someone's going to just totally disagree with this on the podcast, and I'm okay with that. But
everybody's entitled to their opinion.
It's my podcast. You don't like it, shut it off. Double your money.
Exactly.
If you don't like it, double your money back.
Yeah.
Double your money back.
That'd be like a 00.
That's like the best business.
Buckshot.
It's the best business decision I've ever made.
Yeah. I'll double your money back. So, or you can pay me to shut up.
That's right.
There you go.
There you go. Pay me to shut up. But I don't know. It's an interesting situation. I think it's great the way it turned out. I think it's really interesting to see that the liberals started attacking the kid, right? Saying that he carried past a carry sign, a no carry sign, no guns allowed sign, which he did. And they're saying, well, he broke the law. He broke the law. What about the dead guy? He didn't break the law?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not talking about that. They're talking about the
He went in there with a rifle.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And well, the whole thing behind, concealed carry is concealment. Nobody's supposed to know that you have it.
And Indiana is, and I'm sure a lot of states are like this, like Indiana's like what it is here, right? In a private property, private business, private home, whatever, you can allow whatever you want. They could say to shop at the mall, you have to be wearing a pink tutu.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you need to leave until you get your tutu and come back, and then you can shop here. Right? They can say whatever they want, but they don't really carry the weight of law, where it's not a gun charge. If you carry past that, which if you do and you do conceal, they'll never know. But if they do, they're going to ask you to leave. And when you refuse to leave, or if you refuse to leave,
that's when it can get sticky.
That's when it can get sticky, but it's still not a gun charge. It's only a trespass charge. And they'll just say, we're going to trespass you from the property. Yeah. Right? So did he break the law? I don't think he broke the law, because you know what? They never asked him to leave because they never saw it.
Right.
And he never refused to leave, so he wasn't breaking a law. So the liberal media obviously has it wrong, like they do everything else, but no one is focusing on the fact that the shooter broke the law. He's dead. but the shooter broke the law. They're just focusing on this kid. And why is that? Well, here's the conspiracy. And I say this all the time, but I don't even want to say it's conspiracy anymore. They want an all weapons ban. They're trying to get assault weapons ban pushed through, right? They talked about it. It was the day of or the day before or a couple days before this happened. Then someone shows up who is using the constitutional carry law to their benefit, pulls out a handgun, shuts it down to where only 2 or 3 people were killed, saved countless, who knows how many lives, right?
Right.
And that doesn't help them. That doesn't help them out. And you can't. It's like, oh, we have this plan in play. We want to push this assault weapons ban. This guy with a gun stopped it. We can't pass this bill on dead bodies now. There's no dead bodies. There are not enough dead bodies to get the votes that we need. Yep. Look what happened. A legal concealed carry holder shut this down. They ruined. That pesky kid foiled our plans. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's all that was in my mind. So I don't know I don't know conspiracy wise where yours headed.
I can see that. I mean, I can play into that too.
It's true.
There's a lot of crap that happens, and I mean, unfortunately, because of the situation that we're in, and the things that we've seen over the number of years, these past few years, it's hard to completely deny something like that.
You can't.
No.
Anymore. You can't. You can't deny it anymore.
I mean, even just not on the topic of firearms. I mean, look at gas prices. I mean, why are our gas prices so high?
Right.
Because we're having to import now, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody shut down our own supply.
Right.
Basically. I mean, and then going from we have all these reserves, we have all this supply here locally. I mean.
Yeah.
It's not. I just don't get it. It's like, oh, you don't want to run out? Do you not want to run out? I mean,
right.
If we run out, we're already pushing for electric cars and stuff. I mean,
conveniently
weird. Like, who cares if it runs out? If it runs out, well, everybody will do the electric car thing. It's.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I've mentioned this before, and here it goes.
Use it while you have it.
Here's where a lot of the listeners shut down the podcast, probably because they're tired of hearing this crap spew from my mouth.
That's okay.
Here it is. Here's what it is, right? You have the lockdown, you have the COVID crap, you have the lockdown, the kids weren't in school, places were shut down, everyone was told to stay home. So you have this generation of kids, right? These generation of kids who are already...
They're dumbed down.
They're dumbed down. They're on Prozac. They, all this stuff, right? Everything. And then you take them away from the only life that they know. And now they're stuck at home, right? Mm-hmm. And they're inundated with the news, and they're inundated with the media. And the only way to contact their friends is social media.
It's all brainwashing.
So then you have a bunch of kids who are already broken. And it's much easier to take a person who is mentally broken anyway and has problems and push them over and steer them, right? There's a whole thing, and I'm going to mention again, MK Ultra was a thing, right? The government would control people with drugs. It's a thing. It's out there. That's not a conspiracy theory. That was a program. So then there's people out there that are trained to do this. They're trained to lead people. Yeah. They're trained to break people even further. You get a hold of these people on social media, these kids, these people who are broken, who maybe make vague threats, and then you push them and you prod them and you give them what they need, and then you activate them when you need them to go do something, like the shooter in Uvalde. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can look at you could look at history, just throughout history. I mean, there are ways that governments can control people.
Oh yeah,
and the biggest thing is to take away their personal defense.
Oh sure, the
way they can defend themselves. Take that away first, right?
Look at Cuba.
Well, yeah. Well, I forget who it was, but I flipping through TikTok.
No, sure, TikTok.
Yeah. This guy started ranting about over the last couple of decades, people are getting smarter. They're utilizing crypto, because it's not government controlled and all that good stuff. And they're starting to get smarter about, we can do this ourselves. We don't need this.
Right.
And so you had more freedom. you could have your guns, you could have this, you know, you had more freedom, you had all this knowledge and everything. So now the government is losing control of that. So how do they fix that? Well, let's throw in a lockdown. Let's say, oh, you can't go outside because of this deadly virus. Now
Right.
you have to stay in your home. Now you have to do this because if you want to travel outside of your home or you want to travel outside of the U.S., you have to have a shot now.
Show your
so
papers.
Now,
yeah.
exactly. So now they're showing another level of control, trying to control the masses.
Yeah.
So it's like they can't control because of the growth of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're going to instill some kind of fear in order to steer people.
Well, yeah. And they're going to take away, and they want to take away your defense.
Yeah.
And I say this over and over and over again. Every podcast I do, every radio show I do every week, they don't give a shit about your guns. They don't care about the guns.
No, it's all about the control.
They just don't want you to have guns.
Yep.
They use them. The government will use them. Their personal bodyguards will use them. They just don't want you to have them. They are the elite. That just none of these rules apply to them, right? Mm-hmm. But if they can take away ours, they can control when you eat. They can control where you go. They keep talking about wanting to institute this like social credit system as far as like what you say online, what you say on Facebook.
Well, they already do that.
What you say on, they do.
You know how many people I know that go on Facebook jail?
But here's the thing: if they can control all that even more, though, and you piss them off, it's like you don't eat, right? We're not going to allow you to do this, right? Your social credit score, you're in the negative because you did something you shouldn't do, or you smoked, or you didn't go get the vaccine, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. It's absolutely amazing, and we'll just do a shout out here for the vaccine and the boosters and stuff like that. Biden. Since, I don't know, you got the freaking COVID, and they've got you saying, if you get the vaccine and you get your boosters, you won't get COVID. It'll protect you. He's got freaking COVID. And he's the guy that has all the freaking shots.
Right.
All right. So anyhow, we got a little...
Well, there was a whole nother conspiracy theory about that. You know, actually getting the shots, they were actually like off camera, like squirting all the stuff out of it. And yeah, are they really getting the shot?
So what'd you find over there, dude? What are you playing with there?
I don't know. Hey, this was on your table. I have no idea what this is for. I mean, is this for Todd's happy time or what?
Yeah, no. So this is actually, and I did a Facebook post, it was a while back about it. This is it's stuck. This is a grip trainer, right?
Yeah.
And so what it does is it's really good. If you want to shoot, one of the best things that you can have is having a good grip. You came over and did some of the behind closed door stuff. Yeah. Strengthen your grip, and you can improve your shooting because you can mitigate the recoil. So there's that. And then I've got, I forget what they call this. They call it the TheraBand, right? You can do all kinds of stuff, and that'll work on your forearms and your grip, and you'll be able to lock up your wrists and the tendons in your wrists and be able to mitigate that recoil.
Well,
a lot of people need to do that. You've been in class. You've seen.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, they get in class. Don't wave that at me. In class, when the newer shooters come in, they're 20 rounds in and they're tired.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it.
Oh, absolutely.
You can definitely. And yesterday, that heat took its toll on a lot of them. But they start getting tired 20, 25 rounds in. They start getting sloppy. That's when I won't say sloppy, but that's when the mistakes start being made as far as their trigger press isn't as nice.
Well, that's okay, because in a self-defense situation, I mean, it's not going to last.
Well, right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not going to last 25 rounds typically.
No.
But, I mean, be proficient, be strong,
Well,
whatever.
if it does last 25 rounds, it's not within a couple of hours.
Yeah, good God, 25 rounds. I'm out of rounds by then.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm good for...
It's like I'm throwing my firearm.
I'm good for 30 rounds.
Yeah.
I've got my spare mag.
All right, time out.
That's right. I need to go to the store. But
Electrolytes.
yeah, exactly. But no, I always enjoy having you help out in the class. And yesterday was fun. And then we hung out and you guys shot a little bit afterwards. That was fun. I was done. I wasn't going to shoot. I shot your gun once, but I'm just like, I'm tired. You guys can shoot, but I'm mentally, my brain is done at the end of class. And then you add on 100 degrees to time.
Yeah, but you were also, I mean, you've been doing this since the morning. So
Yeah. I mean, that classroom was a little warm over there.
Well, it's not so bad in here.
No, but you put 20 people in there and
Oh, yeah.
let it heat up.
All the heavy breathing.
I've got an AC in there finally now. It's in the wall. Did you see it?
Huh.
Yeah, I've got
Little wall
one of those,
unit?
one of those ductless units,
Okay.
and it's not wired in. So if I need to pay someone to wire it in, the AC was kind of a trade deal I had with someone, which is great. I like the AC. I'll like it even more when I get it wired in and can use it. It's not wired in right now because I have to pay for that, which is fine. But I got business insurance and some other bull crap I got to like pay for first. But if there's an electrician out there that wants to do some trading,
You would have $400 extra to play around with if you charged everyone.
I know. God, I got to figure that out.
See how that comes back around?
It does.
Yeah.
I might have another gun too.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything out there that you want?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Is it a P365 XL?
So 2 weeks ago, I would have told you no, honestly, because I have everything I want as far as gun. There's nothing out there, and I say this all the time. There's nothing out there that just excites me anymore. But I do like those little SIGs. I really do. I wouldn't get the X. I'd get the XL. I want a little longer barrel. That's just me. I can conceal that little longer barrel. I got no problems with that. I do like those little SIGs. I really do. Yeah. So someday, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I like them too.
I gotta get a new chainsaw as well, and that's a little not off, stuck off the gun topic, but
You should get one of those AR attachments with the chainsaw.
my AR didn't even work. I
That
can't
way-
find the parts.
That way you can kill two birds.
I can kill a bird and cut down a tree.
You know,
All at the
you
same
got
time.
you got a new rifle and a chainsaw.
Fire up that little 2-stroke and away we go.
Heck yeah.
Be sweet.
Heck
Well,
yeah.
well, sir, I am glad that you and Pika, your dog here, could join us today. She looks super excited.
Oh yeah. You gotta come in for scratches.
But I do appreciate that. So that way I can actually do a podcast and no one just listen to me yell into the microphone.
Heck yeah.
Because that's all I do when I do podcasts by myself. So I just get mad and yell.
And start ranting.
I rant. And there's no one that's, I'm always right though. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
I'm always right.
Well, you're not gonna argue with yourself.
There's no one there to disagree with me. It's fantastic. But if you listen to this podcast, I do appreciate it. If you want to go ahead and share it with your family, your friends, share it on social media, folks. That's free, right? It takes a little bit of time. Share the podcast on social media. You can go to Spotify, you can go to Stitcher, wherever you listen to it. You can grab the link, you can post it up on social media and share it. The more listeners we get, the better.
And it can be fun. Call in if you have an argument.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. It just keeps it going, you know?
Yeah, I'll get you. You know, I've called in. Had a few people. You know, got a hold of them. There's some great friends now that I actually just like. I've never met, but I talked to them on social media, and they have responded to posts or podcasts, and I've had them on the show. I have no problem doing that. I know there's a few people out there waiting for me to call them back, and I just haven't got around to it yet. I kind of got into my busy season with classes and with family and some races and stuff, but I will. You're on the list to call, and so I know there's some people out there, some listeners out there that got some stories to tell on the air. So we'll get that taken care of. If you got any questions or comments, I guess, get a hold of me. You can call me. You can text me. Area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Henry. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Pika, and your kiddos inside running around terrorizing the lizard with my boy. So that's a fun time in there, I'm sure.
I got to go see this.
But anyhow, you guys have a good week, and hopefully we'll be back next week. And maybe I have to look at my schedule. Maybe after that, the group, if you help me with them, we can just hop on afterwards and do another one.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Are you going to be too tired?
No, not after this one. Shut up, dude. I'm old. I'm getting old. See, look at no hair.
I'm older than you, right?
How old are you?
48.
Oh, shit. You're young, 48.
Yeah.
I look more old. I look older. I got grandkids, dude. Your kid.
I better not.
Your kid's how old?
7
Yeah, I've got grandkids.
and 17.
Yeah, I've got grandkids, so there you go. I feel a lot older than you. But anyway, everyone have a good week. If you're where it's hot, stay inside, stay cool. I will talk to you later. Bye.